Hello, I'm Deadpool, and today I'm here with my buddy Cleaning Agent. We're going to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, and this is all a spoiler discussion, so if you don't want to hear uh, any spoilers, this is not the right place.
You're in the wrong place, bub.
Exactly. There's a lot of spicy stuff in this movie. So yeah, be warned. Everybody in Twitch chat also be warned. After this point, uh, there's no limits. All right, I'm gonna take this off so we can have a proper discussion. All right. Oh my God, my hair. Now I'm Logan with
Perfect.
that like hair spike.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So I want to again thank you for coming. I love chatting about movies with you, and like this whole weekend, I've been like giddy to get to talk about it together. Um, so thank you for humoring me and going to see it earlier than maybe you might have. Um,
I'll tell you this, Betty Westside, it's my pleasure as always. And typically, anytime you ask me to watch something, I only watch it because you asked me. So
do you think you would not have gone to see this one at all?
I think I probably just would have waited for it to come onto a
Okay,
streaming service of some kind. But
I see.
I mean, the popcorn was good, so worth it.
Oh, nice. All right, then if you said the popcorn was good, worth it, that leads to me to my favorite opening question. Did you like the movie?
All right, I'll answer the question, but I'm also going to answer the question for you, or
Okay.
at least what I think you're going to answer.
Yeah, do it.
I enjoyed the movie for what it was.
Okay.
And I feel this movie was greatly similar to another Marvel movie that maybe incorporated another comic book collection of characters at one point called Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't love that one, so I feel like you didn't love this one because it's pretty much shot for shot same movie, only with Fox.
If my camera hadn't frozen, you would see me nodding through that whole thing. I don't know why this is happening.
Oh, why wouldn't it?
I um I saw this movie as like the third installment. Oh my God, why is this happening? The third installment in a trilogy of No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, and then this one. I feel like they're all the same.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't. Multiverse of Madness, I'd say, is well below this
Yes.
and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes.
Um, but I see where you're
But
coming
I
from.
think it's a trilogy of movies
Yeah,
that
fair.
like don't stand on anything but these cameos.
Fanfare. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a
fanfare.
fanfare movie.
Yeah, and I hadn't seen this before going to the movie, and I'm gonna place. So apparently, in the last trailer, there was a QR code, and if you um, like or go to the link in the QR code, there's this video of Ryan Reynolds talking about the movie,
Oh, really?
and it won't play. Basically, he says this. Oh, here, come on.
We're very excited to be joining you July 26th. Many of you are very excited, but we should set the table correctly. This film is as paper thin as a sequel to Battlefield Earth. We're mostly going to beat each other senseless, make enemies with Disney, tell a few dick jokes, make a few jokes at my expense, make a lot of jokes at Hugh's expense, and completely sidestep Marvel's mandated after-credit sequence, which, if you haven't figured it out yet, is always just a commercial for another movie, which will invariably end with a commercial for another movie. So sit back, relax, let us lower your IQ and raise your heart rate while we travel to a vapid dreamland, a place where grown men and grown women walk around in tights and act like it's not a giant cultural cry for help. This is cinema.
Seeing that today, I was like, that is so accurate. It's so
Yeah,
paper thin, which
absolutely,
leads
absolutely.
me to think like, did you know it was gonna be paper thin? Like, did you plan to make a paper thin movie, or afterwards you realize it's really bad. Let's just be self-aware about it. But is being self-aware about it, does it redeem it? Which to me it doesn't. Then like don't do
Okay,
it.
so yeah, yeah. So moral of the story, you didn't like the movie. Is that correct?
It, I was very disappointed by it. I, it's not a bad movie. It's not definitely not a great movie. I've been pondering, is it a good movie this whole weekend? And
Okay,
I don't think it is a good movie. My score was about 5 on this
out of
because
100.
out of, not out of 10,
Yeah,
it has a lot of good things in it. I will not deny that, and I took notes, so I'm gonna talk about a lot of things that made me feel really good and excited watching the movie. But overall, filmmaking is a storytelling medium. If you just wanted to do like fight scenes, there's YouTube, there's Disney Plus. You, you could have done a 40-minute short on Disney Plus or whatever.
okay, that's true. But movies nowadays are all about reaping in a vast amount of money
Yeah,
for the companies producing them. And what better way to do that than throwing in a bunch of nostalgia and humor and fight scenes to just bring in new and old audience members to
yeah,
buy buckets with Wolverine's head on them, right? Like
yeah.
that's what this is. And is it a straight fan service movie? Yes. Is it just to get some money in the bank? Probably. Was it entertaining?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I'll give it to them. People are eating it up. Like, n- not a lot of people seem to have complaints about this movie.
Yeah, I'd say the critics probably have the most complaints
Yeah,
because they're looking at it the same way you are, as like a story being told. Is it worth its salt? No, but it tastes pretty good with a bucket of Wolverine head popcorn.
yeah, yeah. It has a lot of entertainment value. Though I will say, in No Way Home, I was never bored. In this, there were moments where it was boring.
Will also agree with that statement and go on record of saying I preferred No Way Home story to this. No Way Home story is pretty thin, 100%, but I feel like it gave more credit and more stakes to the characters it brought back,
Yeah,
except for maybe Lizard,
yeah,
um, compared to this movie, which is like straight up, it's Cameo City, baby. Get on board and have some fun, right?
yeah.
But the story itself in this is it's terrible.
Since you said Cameo City, I want to ask you: do you think, like the Deadpool gang? I felt like those were cameos too because Marina Baccarin was like fourth billing, but she had less screen time than um, X-23 or Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, out of like yeah, most of the movie is just cameo, right? Like
Yeah,
it's Hugh and Reynolds and cameos.
yeah,
I'd say I want to ask you though, because obviously we're gonna agree the movie doesn't hold up as far as a great storytelling machine. Um, there's no question. Like it starts with, hey, let's pull you out of this your timeline because you're special, but your timeline's dying, and nobody tells us why he's special, and then he wants to fix his timeline, and it's just a timeline mess, and there's no actual rhyme or reason or understanding as to why it's happening
yeah,
or why it started, right?
yeah,
So it's like there's no point aside from let's just and I think Ryan Reynolds kind of says that straight to the camera a few times, being like, "This is just us having fun and you know extras get off the stage before we do this fight. Like it's very
Fourth wall breaking.
yeah, it's very yeah, he's not trying to elude that this is a great story. And you playing that clip proves that as well, right?
Yeah.
So I think for me, I went in as soon as I saw even the first trailer or whatever, I was like, oh, it's going to be Cameo City. This is going to be the Fox tribute. I'm just going to go see it for what it is, which is a popcorn entertainment movie.
I
And
see.
so I went into that mindset, and I think I probably enjoyed it maybe more than you, because you probably got hung up on like, why is this even happening?
I'll tell you this. I was not having high expectations for this movie. It wasn't even my top or second most anticipated movie of this year at all. I was like being very timid, and I didn't watch trailers after the first one because I
Yeah.
don't like being spoiled. I knew there were going to be
Hey.
cameos in it, so I didn't want to get spoiled on anything.
Mhm.
So I went with very little not very little expectations, but like tried to keep it timid. Although I did watch two reviews that were non-spoiler reviews, and both of them were big comic fans, big Wolverine fans, and they were like gushing all over the place. And
Yeah. Okay.
that, like, I think that really in the last minute raised my expectations. But let me tell you, I would have completely forgiven it and like not cared about it if it wasn't for all of the multiverse bullshit and like how they break the rules of the multiverse that have already been established. Because if you're trying to merge onto a cinematic universe or cinematic multiverse that's already been established, that already has its rules, you can't like mess with them. Like very small sling rings only transport you through space. They don't transport you through space time. So like
Yeah, that's why Doctor Strange needed American Chavez in the
yeah,
movie.
like if
Yeah.
sling rings could have done it, then Wanda would have been good. Like she wouldn't have needed America Chavez. That whole movie wouldn't exist. So like that's very small. Larger, like what was the thing with the what is it called? Not core characters, no. Anchor being. So
Right.
if an anchor being dies, their timeline starts withering away. But like, what happens until the anchor being is born? Or is it just
Oh
like,
yeah, exactly. Or when they die, of natural causes or whatever, when their
yeah,
time
like
has come.
everybody dies? What are you talking
I
about?
know, I know. It's so flimsy.
And then so Logan, the apparently Logan's story and this Deadpool story are in the same universe. Okay, but that's in the distant future. It's kind of a dystopic future where mutants are being hunted. Patrick Stewart's gone crazy. He's like a weapon of mass destruction. If he gets a headache, people die. Like shit like that. That's like a very distant future, and it's very far from what we're seeing in the happy-go-lucky um, world that Deadpool starts this
Right.
movie in. Why is the guy from Succession trying to pull Deadpool from this moment in time? Also, like that guy lives out of time. Why does he need to wait out the death of the like this timeline? There's no waiting. It doesn't exist. He can peer at Logan's death. He can peer at Logan's birth. He can peer at however many thousand years into the future when the timeline finally dies. It makes no sense to me that like he's worried about getting rid of this timeline at all. And then he goes like, we used to be able to prune timelines. Now we're not
Yeah.
allowed to. So I'm going to build this machine
That
that
prunes
also
timelines.
prunes it, but it's
Yeah.
also not sanctioned. Then just use the machine that you already had, like in Loki,
I
that
know,
they
it
were
makes
setting
no
up
sense.
these little
Yeah.
thermoses. Like, what was the point of the machine? Just so they could hold hands? And that scene was literally lifted from Guardians of the Galaxy, with them like holding hands and glowing.
Right. Right.
Like the
Benny.
whole timeline, time cruncher, anchor
Now,
being bullshit. If that if that wasn't the case, then I'd be okay with a popcorn movie. That's just like I went and saw Twisters.
right.
I was fine with Twisters. but Twisters wasn't trying to butt its way into a cinematic universe and destroying its rules.
Now, to be fair, not that this redeems it or makes it okay. Marvel's MCU's rules on this whole multiverse have been pretty shitty
Yeah,
from
that's
the
true.
get.
That is true, yeah.
So, I mean, you can't fault them completely for just throwing out the rules and making it their own thing. I think all you have to do is go back to that Ryan Reynolds recording that you just
Yeah.
played me, and it's all you can do with this movie is just accept that it's pure. I'm making this movie because I get to work with Hugh Jackman, and we get to make a bunch of Marvel jokes.
Yeah. The jokes were like, I was so thrilled that they went to the places that they went in terms of like, you're gonna do this for like until you're 90, or
Yeah.
you're joining the MCU at a low place. Like, I thought those were really amazing, and the fact that they let them do that. Blade
Yeah,
saying, "I'm
I
gonna be
agree.
the only Blade." Those
Also, okay, I wanted to ask you this.
sure.
Beyond, and you can get back to your bashing the movie.
No. Let's talk good things for a bit. I have a lot of bad things.
Who was your favorite cameo or character in the movie?
It's between 3 and
What? Okay. No. You got to pick
yeah,
one,
I'm gonna
my
pick
friend.
one. I'm gonna pick one. Probably Chris Evans.
Okay, you like the Chris Evans?
Yeah. Did you end up watching the end credits scene?
I did.
Okay, good.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I'm glad you did.
Oh,
Rorix, me too. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, Chris Evans was great. How they like build him up to be Captain America of some kind, and then they torch him. It's pretty funny. It's a good cameo. Solid work.
Yeah.
But I think I personally preferred Blade the most.
Ooh,
Blade
I see.
was so freaking funny.
He was.
And like so in character of like taking everything very serious and like so Blade. It was super funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that one, the joke that you said, like I'm the only Blade there'll ever be, is just so funny.
Yeah. Some of the jokes, like when Ryan or Deadpool says, "Oh, I'm sorry about Daredevil's death," and like Jennifer Garner's like, "I'm okay with it."
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so much. The thing with this is like, you need to know so much. Like, you need to know both a lot of different cinematic franchises, but you also need to know real world stuff. It does require a lot of homework, which I'm curious why the people who criticize the Marvels for requiring a lot of homework, they criticized Thor for just being joke incessantly. They criticized Ant-Man for like stepping out of his lane into like something that he shouldn't do in terms of like
an A-lister hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't they showing up to criticize this movie? I'm curious about that. But
yeah, that's fair. I think it's because most people who are watching this are going to be those long-term Fox audiences,
probably.
right? Because you're coming for Hugh Jackman, who is all Fox,
Mm-hmm.
and Deadpool, who is mostly Fox up until now, right? Like they're all the Fox audience. So who else is coming to this? Even like even MCU fans have watched most of that, right?
Yeah.
Aside from like brand new audiences, they are the only ones that are going to be like, "What is going on in this movie?"
Yeah. Which I'm fine with it. Like it requiring homework, but it paying off on knowing all of those things. That
100%.
Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck got divorced, or that Channing Tatum tried to make a movie but never did. I saw that card and I was like, if this is Channing Tatum, I will lose my mind. And it was him, and like that was amazing. The fact that they got him to do this, I loved it so much. But I think it proved that he wasn't a good like, I know he was not the accent. I know that was like jokingly exaggerated, but
Yeah.
the look, he does not look like Gambit to me.
No, he doesn't have a Gambit look, but I think that's part of like the fun of it is like
Oh
they're
yeah,
like over the top
absolutely.
making him look bad, even
Yeah,
though he's badass still, right? Yeah, yeah, I didn't mind that at all. It was pretty funny.
yeah. Yeah, Gambit was also like one of my favorite cameos. It's-
Yeah, he was super
And
funny.
the visualization of his um powers in the fight in like in the pit or whatever, Cassandra's lair,
Yeah.
that looked so good. The VFX,
Hmm.
I hope he looks as good, like Gambit looks as good when he comes to the screen for real. I would love to see him, just not
Yeah.
Channing. Speaking of
Yeah.
VFX, the hand effect of
Very
like,
fun.
it was realized so well.
Hmm.
I was like blown away by how good that looked.
Yeah, there was a lot of times that the effects were really well handled in this. I feel the budget was there.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, some of the like the biggest gripe I have with the film is actually some of the fights I felt weren't as crisp or as clean as
Mm.
they could have been. Mainly the Cassandra compound fight with everybody. It was just like and the Deadpool 100 Deadpool fight. I just felt it was like too busy and like it just looked like rehearsal fight to me.
Mm.
Uh, I come from a long background of doing like stage combat and stuff, so like I pick up a lot of stuff, and I'll focus my eyes on a lot of things that maybe other people don't. So like a lot of that, I was like, it's okay, but
Mm.
it could have been crispier, I think.
Especially in that scene, like in Ant-Man's arms, it did look very gray and like nothing stood out. So maybe
Hmm.
that's why I'm drawn more to Gambit's, because he was like glowing purple.
Yeah, for sure.
It looks like maybe what it must. I'm not gonna say, like it looked like everything was very monotone and like nothing. Yeah, things didn't stand out. Which, on the contrary, the opening fight with like the blood on the snow and the bones and the choreography, I thought that was
Hmm.
great. Aside from the
Yeah.
fact that like those guys weren't necessarily evil, or like they're not stormtroopers, like he was murdering them viciously,
Oh,
which
100%.
was
Like he's
weird to
killing
me.
innocent people if you consider anybody in the TVA innocent, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I mean that just kind of goes to show his character of not giving a shit, right?
yeah,
And he's not the hero yet.
yeah. But that scene was amazing.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably the best fight scene in the whole movie.
Yeah,
And but a lot of it came from the comedy of the fight and him, stabbing them in orifices of one kind or another.
yeah.
And I was like, but by the end, I was like, if he doesn't get some Wolverine claws on, this is gonna be for nothing. He's using the whole skeleton. He better get some claws
Yeah.
in this. And then, obviously, the payoff is there. But
I was wondering, like, the claws should be there. If they omit the claws, that's a big like mistake. But no,
yeah,
they were saving it up, and
yeah,
that was done well.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, it was okay. Yeah,
I have a question.
sure.
What did you feel about the chemistry between the two leads?
Fine.
Fine.
I think here's the problem. I think they're like best friends in real life,
Mm.
and they're playing characters. One who loves one or is desperate for one, and the other one just hates the other one, right? And I don't think that comes across. Like I don't know if I ever believed Wolverine hated Deadpool in this movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
For, for some reason, their chemistry, I like, it wasn't something that I wanted to keep watching, if that makes sense. Like, it wasn't a buddy cop. Like, it wasn't. it wasn't like Bucky and Falcon. Like those two, their relationship was also begrudging at times, but
Yep.
I liked that dynamic, and I wanted to see more of it. With these
Yeah.
two,
Yep.
not necessarily.
I think the reason for that is in the Bucky Sam dynamic. It's little bits and parts.
Hmm.
So it's like little quips that keep you wanting more. Whereas this is a 2-hour movie of it.
Hmm.
So it kind of wears on you a little bit. But I think the big problem is it's almost as if I don't know if it's Hugh Jackman or Wolverine's character is in on the joke a little bit.
Hmm.
Maybe he's not serious enough
I see.
because he's kind of throwing jokes here and there too, right?
Yeah.
And I think that takes away from it. He's supposed to be the straight man, and I don't think it was fully the straight man character.
I see. When he killed Nice Pool, and Wolverine's like, he died because of murder, you dumb fuck.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
so
yeah.
I
Yeah,
loved it.
that was good. That was very good.
Like he died. What did he say? He died because of love or something like. Or he died for us or something like that. It's like no, he died because of murder. I felt at times where if you put Josh Brolin's face on Logan, it was the same movie as last. Like it, I feel like the same dynamic as Deadpool and Cable versus Deadpool and Wolverine. Literally,
Yeah,
no difference is what I felt, and
I would
maybe that's on
say
purpose.
I'd say the only difference is Cable pulled it off better
Yeah.
because he was more of a straight man, right?
Yeah.
And the biggest reason why it stood out is because this Wolverine is supposed to be straight broken and have no hope of feeling like a hero ever again. And so him kind of playing into the comedy bits that he does, which isn't a lot, but there are there. It just doesn't quite fit the character as far as
Mhm.
I feel.
I feel like they could have just written a good story for these people that didn't necessarily have to deal with like time crunchers and bullshits and like the whole final thing in the subway station
Yeah.
with like Cassandra Nova want why didn't they give her just like multiversal transport powers? Like she was already pretty omnipotent. Is that the word?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
she was basically Scarlet Witch. They could have just added the portal power. They didn't have to mess with the sling ring. Anyway, like her wanting to destroy all universes so that she could rule the void made no sense. Just like go rule the TVA. You know, kill Loki. Like what do you want?
Yeah. The other problem is I don't know if you're familiar with her character in the comic books,
No.
but like she's like the evil twin of Professor X.
Mhm.
And in the comic books, Xavier actually tries to kill her in the womb because he can sense her evil.
Hmm.
And so they're both like telepaths. So he makes the first move, which, hey, you know what? Xavier kind of a, I don't know,
Who's the evil one now?
who's evil now. But so she dies in theory in the fetus. She gets aborted. She goes into the sewers. She grows herself a body and becomes who she is, and is like super powerful. Like she's super dark character, like crazy. Um, but like she would have known because of her own mind powers that Xavier did that. So obviously it's different in the MCU. It's even Deadpool didn't take it that dark.
I wish we got to see some of that. Like the actor did very well with what they were given, but they weren't given a lot.
No, the best they were given is cool finger CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
What else did you hate about the movie, Benny?
Oh my god. Oh, okay. The Deadpool core. So many Deadpools working for Cassandra. What does that say about Deadpool?
Were they? See, I don't even know. Were they working with Cassandra? I don't even know.
I think they
It
were
was
her
so
minions.
flimsy.
Yeah, it was really flimsy.
But like, what was Nice Pool doing then? Like, he knew about all the Deadpools, or was he rogue?
No, I think they were together. He just came first.
So okay, so someone in chat just said they're
They're
mercs. So
mercs.
like, did Cassandra just hire them for this moment to stop this duo from moving forward?
I know they're mercenaries, but isn't this trilogy trying to show us that he's more? Didn't the movie start with him begging to Jon Favreau that he cares, even though he doesn't? He jokes about it. Like,
Yeah, this one does, but not all of them have to fall in that line.
I guess.
I don't know.
I think they
It's hard
wanted
to
to
say.
have a big Deadpool off, and they
Exactly.
loosely found something. And again, as somebody who wants a little more substance in his movies, especially if they're connected to something like this body of the MCU. Yeah, I think that's my issue with it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, this movie is not holding water, Benny.
yeah.
The fabric is wide open here.
Oh, Rorik's, yeah, nice pool not regenerating was amazing. Which, like, what's his power? I guess nothing. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
he did seem to have weird CGI on his face, though, right? Is it me? He looked weird,
Yeah.
or did I get used to the cancer face?
I'm not sure actually. I thought it felt weird as well. Like
Okay,
maybe did they throw on a little de-aging or
maybe
something just to smooth them out? I'm not sure. It looked like it had almost a beauty whatever you call it from TikTok
filter. Yeah,
on it. A filter on top,
yeah.
which may have been like a choice to make it look like that. I don't know.
The lady pool, I was I didn't necessarily recognize the voice. I haven't watched a lot of Blake Lively, but I
Right.
was hoping that it was Blake, and it was, and that made me very happy.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
she did it.
it's a fun nod. Yeah, 100%.
Um, I I think it would have been funny. They already made two divorce jokes, one for Daredevil and Elektra, one for Logan, who apparently
Mm-hmm.
in real life got a divorce while they were filming
Yep.
this. It would have been like when Lady Deadpool comes and he's like, "Please don't be ScarJo. Please don't be ScarJo." And then she pulls it off, and Blake's like, "No, it's me, babe. Don't worry." And then like puts it back on, and
Right,
then
right,
like
right.
Deadpool 2099, like her mask comes out, and like ScarJo's like, what, or something like what he.
Right, right, right.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah, that could have been super
Or
fun.
at least if they even if they couldn't get ScarJo as a cameo, if they brought it up, that would have been cool. But that's not it's not a gripe I have with the movie. I have
No, yeah, it's just
actual
like
gripes. Yeah,
another fun nod they could have done with the rule of three they call it, right? In comedy.
yeah,
If
yeah,
if you have two divorce jokes, three would just hit home the
yeah.
best.
Especially if like you're making it at others' expenses. Yeah, take one for the team as well. Rorix, I'm with you. Oh my God, the TVA scenes, like the part where they were in the TVA, like get this fucking over with. Get me out of here. Enough.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm so over the TVA. I
It
hope we
feels
never
to
see it
me
again.
it feels to me like the TVA is going to be this ugly point of if we need to fix something, we'll just bring in the TVA, or if we need to fudge some numbers, just bring in the TVA. Like it
Yeah.
feels so bad, and I hope you're right. I hope we're done with it. Did it make sense for this movie? I guess as much as anything made sense for this movie, but it's not fun.
What do you well, speaking of the TVA, what did you feel about the TVA Taylor being a predator and that being played for jokes.
Oh, the
Like the
the
slap
suit
and the
maker.
groping. And then he goes and says, like, he's a predator, but I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and I liked it. I think it was very. It's on point for Deadpool humor, so I'm fine with it. It is what it is.
And
Is it
even
like
in the
obviously it's pretty lowbrow, but
yeah,
look at the movie as a whole, right?
even in the older movies, like the Scoutmaster Kevin running gag, which followed through here, how is that a joke? Like it's actually, I don't know. I feel like that should not be. But
So I guess yeah, I mean that's a preference, right? Like there's like a saying that there's no off limits when it comes to comedy, and it's just a matter of if you can believe that or not, or if you sign on to that thought or not.
but remember when they fired James Gunn from the MCU because like a joke he made about child abuse surfaced?
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, I don't know. It's a fine line, and I guess Marvel okayed it. So
Yeah,
what
I
can we
guess
do?
yeah, I guess that one's more taste and maybe not necessarily like
Yeah,
movie
and I guess like
problem.
because Deadpool was okay with it, it's not abuse,
Yeah,
but there's signs that it could be there, right? Like I don't know. It's that's why it's like it's not everybody's comedic taste at all times, but if yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
It's hard to limit comic
yeah.
uh taste.
Rorik's in that one though. They made a big deal about it. It wasn't like he touched me and I liked it. I don't know. Maybe.
Right. Is Daddy Rourke is talking about Joey's suit maker or
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah.
Right, yeah.
What did you think about the cavalcade of Wolverines? I really liked that whole like going through different Wolverines thing. Even
Yeah, I
though
think
I'm like I don't read comics, so I'm vaguely familiar with some of them, not at all familiar with some of them. I enjoyed it a lot, but I'm curious what you're gonna think about that one.
yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I like the quick cuts and fun things. What I would have liked, and there was like early talk of other Wolverines, other people being cast. We only got
Mhm.
one.
Yeah.
If we could have got more variety of
Mm,
cameos as Wolverines, I think that would have been funner
yeah.
than just one. I
Yeah.
think every Wolverine we saw could have been not Hugh Jackman,
I see.
or sprinkled throughout, right? Instead of just one, have like every other one a different cameo would have been ideal.
If everyone was different except for the little one, like if the comics accurate Wolverine was Hugh and then everyone else was different, I would have like Taron
Right.
Egerton's been floating around a lot, right? It would have
Hmm.
been nice to see him. I don't know who else, but
Well, even Daniel Radcliffe was at one
really,
point. Yeah, yeah. And
ooh,
I
that
don't
would
know
have
if
been
you've seen.
cool.
I don't know if you've seen the meme of Danny DeVito as Wolverine. It's super funny. And I would have thought that would have been an amazing short
Oh
Wolverine
yeah, yeah,
because you wouldn't have had to CGI anything. It would have just been hysterical
yeah.
old
Oh wow,
old
yeah.
Wolverine as Danny DeVito. So
I
I
love
think
that.
I mean, how easy is that to do? Obviously, not easy to get all these cameos, right? It
Yeah,
does cost a lot of money, but I think if they could have delved into that a little deeper, it could have been really, really hilarious.
yeah. I love the joke about like when Chris Evans dies, he's like, "Do you know what he was doing to the budget? It's okay that he's dead."
Yeah, and so like, there's those nods to being like, this is all in fun movie making magic that is super funny. Like, and I got some of the biggest laughs from some of those jokes where they're like, wait for the extras to leave the stage,
Oh
or
yeah.
when he talks to the old guy being like, we can't afford to pay you for lines. Like, don't say anything. It's like so funny to me.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part was good. I loved seeing Cavill. Like, I that was also one of the cameos I didn't know about. So I was blown when I saw him. I was like, whoa. And
Yeah, he was
he
very funny.
looked good. Like if they cast him as the 616 Wolverine, I would not be upset whatsoever. he fit, like he looked good in terms of hair and like the cigar.
Yeah, he's jacked for
Yeah,
sure. I would love to see a more comic book accurate Wolverine myself, but
I see.
it's hard to find a body like that, obviously, because
Hmm,
he's like 5'3", I think, in the comics, and
I
like
see.
just jacked,
I
which is
see.
almost physically impossible.
If they come down to Muscle Beach down here in Venice, maybe.
Yeah. Then you
Yeah,
unfortunately might not be much acting involved.
yeah, yeah. What was the? I think this was when they first landed in the void. He he goes, keep my country's name out of your fucking mouth.
Right.
That was so good. I loved it.
Yeah.
He, it was so good.
Again, pop culture
Pop
city,
culture,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, which makes sense for Deadpool, who's always breaking fourth wall. Yeah, that it fit right in. It was good.
yeah,
Yeah, uh, in the audience, literally, the only good thing to come out of Canada, everybody in the audience lost it. They were like, "Groner," like because we're all over here in
yeah. You
Canada.
are
I don't
in
know if
Canada.
anybody knows, but yeah, so that was a pretty good line in the movie for us Canadians.
Um, the running joke or running gag with Thor, I really liked. Um, like he's like, what the? Why is he crying? What's going
Why
on?
is he holding me?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
and like he would wake up from like sleeping, and he would be like, God. And
yeah, yeah,
there's one part where I think when they're like all back and like Succession guys there, Hunter B-15 is there, and somebody brings up Thor, and he goes like, he holds me, like the delivery was perfect.
yeah. Yeah, that was see that's the thing is like it doesn't always have to be the crude in your face humor. That was one of the like fun running jokes that is like leaves you wanting more, and that's
Yeah,
what makes it funny.
yeah,
So I appreciated the what I like to call layers of comedy in the business.
yeah. I wonder if we will ever get a payoff to that, but I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah. Um, it's so like if Logan dies and that universe is gonna dissolve because like eventually over hundreds of thousands of years, but
Yeah.
he was the anchor being. Why do you pull Deadpool from that universe? Just go pull Logan. Go get Logan before he dies.
Oh,
Or
dude,
like get anyone else from that universe. Like
I know.
of all the power sets, I don't think Deadpool is the
Is
special being that you pull and recruit into the 616, which like the TVA doesn't even like people crossing universes, right? Because of incursions and whatnot. I don't.
again, I have no idea why Deadpool was pulled. Aside from they said he's special,
Yeah,
which means nothing,
yeah.
and
The
it
plot
it
needs you
made
to
zero
be here.
sense. It made zero sense.
Yeah. The plot needs
But
you to be in the void with a Wolverine, and like we're gonna do it whatever we can, even if it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, yeah, I think you have to just remove yourself from the plot. The plot obviously doesn't matter. It's like whose line is it anyway? I don't know if you watch that improv show, but everything's made up and the points don't matter. That's what this movie is.
I can do that in a one-off movie, but when
This
it
is a one-off movie.
but it like breaks the rules of of a full multiverse. Yeah, I don't know.
He broke all the rules anyway in the second one, didn't he? When he time traveled all over the place, killing random characters and doing whatever he wanted.
See,
Like he already did that.
I don't know. I couldn't get past it. That if they didn't do any of the multiverse stuff, I would have been okay with it.
I
But
know,
yeah.
but you've got an innate hatred for the TVA
Oh,
and all
that's different.
multiversal
That's a
and
whole
all
different thing.
multiversal
I I like
MCU business.
I like multiverse stuff. I love Elseworlds world stories. I think it's really interesting to explore that stuff. But like, don't break the rules.
I think the problem is they've had some hits and misses, so the rules just don't really matter anymore. And if anybody can break them, who's going to be? Maybe that's why he's special, because he's the only one that can break all the rules. And but that then leaves the question: why would this Paradox guy pull him anyway if he knows he's going to be a fucking hot mess and make
Yeah.
everything worse? It
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So you just gotta leave sense at the door and just eat the popcorn, my friend.
Yeah. I mean, I'm probably never gonna watch it again. So yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
It might be one where I like Google or like search on YouTube like the Gambit scene or something like, or like the
Yeah, you'll watch a clip here or there,
Chris
but the
Evans
full
end
movie,
credits
yeah.
scene. Like, of course, it has good moments in the movie
Yeah.
that I really enjoyed. But yeah, I'm never gonna watch this again because it's pretty infuriating.
I love it, Benny. I love how like I just love how it rubs you the wrong way. I do, because you're like,
I mean,
and you know why I love it? Because I'm of the very logistical mind as well. I feel like that's where we have a lot of commonality, is that if logically things don't line up, we can't bridge that gap. It,
yeah,
it doesn't connect.
yeah,
And so I feel like I understand that from you, and but I feel like I can also, especially like in cases of like superhero, it's all buffoonery anyway. I can kind of let that go more than maybe you can.
I see, yeah,
Yeah, but I prefer logic and order myself.
yeah. Write a good movie. Don't write a bad movie and then say we wrote a bad movie, but it's fine.
Yeah, which is like funny to say it, but sad when it's true
Yeah,
a little bit, right?
when,
Why can't
yeah,
why can't it be all things? I don't know. I don't
yeah,
know. That's why I said I think overall Spider-Man No Way Home is a better movie.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
slightly.
fair, fair.
Yeah. Also
Um,
very infuriating.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only like the only saving grace, I guess, even I don't know if you call it that. That's not the right word, but is that like Doctor Strange is like so powerful and so unstoppable in the comics that authors would typically just write him doing whatever the hell for whatever reason just to get a storyline going. And that's what it felt like in No Way Home, being
Mm.
like, okay, they're just using Strange because he's a super powerful, he's just gonna do whatever because he doesn't really care.
Mm.
And that's what, you know, boosted that movie off the runway. Um, but I think they handled after that better than this movie even started it.
Yeah.
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 I don't know, man. I don't know what else there is to say. It's like, go see the movie. Obviously, if you're watching this, you've seen the movie. So if you liked it, tell us why we're wrong. If you hated it, it's probably because you agree with Benny.
Yeah.
But it's hard to hate the movie, right?
Yeah.
It's fun.
I don't hate it, but yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
but
lot of
it's
entertainment
yeah,
value.
it's not quality. It's not a quality cinematic piece.
Yeah.
It's a fluff movie for fanfare, which is a kind of a breath of fresh air for MCU as of late, right?
But Deadpool 1 and 2 were not fluff. I felt like those were good movies.
Sure, but that was prior to like Endgame, right? Like I'm saying like post Endgame MCU is obviously, and they talk about it, MCU's in a low place right now.
Yes.
because everything they're putting out is subpar in one way or another, with like a little bit of spikes here and there, and most of those come from the movies that just kind of pay fanfare more than anything,
Yeah.
because
I,
people are loving the nostalgia of these past movies,
yeah. I
and
think
maybe our memory of them is better than the movies themselves, which is
maybe.
mostly the case, but at least it's something.
Yeah. I think what's upsetting is while they're in a slump, what's financially working for them are not good movies. Like, which
Exactly.
gives them the lesson that you don't need to make a good movie. You just need to make a movie that's gonna sell.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. I and
they don't care to make
yeah.
good movies, which is like what am I supposed to think about the two new Avengers movies that got
Yeah.
announced today or
Yeah, that's what I was
yesterday?
just gonna say.
Like,
Cut to Robert Downey Jr. Spoiler alert,
yeah.
coming back because Robert Downey Jr. sold a bunch of tickets.
Oregon, dude, how is this a good movie, man? Um,
I would give,
it's an entertaining movie. Um,
yeah,
s-
I think it's hard for a lot of people to differentiate that as well, though.
oh yeah,
Like
maybe.
some people aren't looking for a masterpiece or a masterclass in storytelling, right? Like some
Yeah.
people just want to get out of their daily grind and have a laugh. If that's all people are interested in, this is a good movie to them. So it's like very opinion based
Yeah.
reasoning. If you want a full package of epic storytelling, epic fight scenes, epic CGI, epic humor, this doesn't hit on all of those accords,
Yeah.
right? So I think it depends on a lot of factors whether you feel it's a good movie or not. And I can't discredit anybody's opinion because what's the point? It's their
Hmm.
opinion. They're not going to change it. But that's why I also love talking to you because I feel like we are in a similar mindset of what makes a good movie to
Yeah.
us. So yeah,
Um,
your people in chat, a lot of people, it looks like for the most part, it's a thumbs up movie.
yeah. People are loving it. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a quick check after I saw the movie, just while I was waiting for the last credit scene. Rotten Tomatoes is usually my just kind of quick glance go to.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 79 for the critics, but it's like a 95 for the
Yeah.
audience, right? Audience love the movie because they just want to enjoy a movie.
Yeah.
Critics are like, this has no fucking storyline, so what are you guys doing here?
Yeah. I think yeah. As I said, and maybe I don't need to like belabor it. I
Mm-hmm.
would have forgiven it if it didn't mess with the rules of the multiverse. If it was just a fun, Marvel movie
Right.
that didn't
Yeah,
have
but when they
necessarily an
like
amazing story.
when they almost it almost seemed purposely throwing pre-established rules to the wind.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
it, it kind of it's hard not to like take note of that, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Somebody asked if you gave a score out of 10, and I don't know if you want to, but
Okay, if I was to give this movie a score out of 10, so I'm gonna do a blatant self promotion here. I've been doing a little series called R Rating with
oh yeah,
Run
Manguli.
Seven and the Monguli Show. And what we're doing is rating movie franchises. We've done Mad Max, which, side note, I love the Mad Max references in this movie. I thought that was
Oh yeah,
great.
yeah,
So we just finished our Mad Max ratings of that franchise, and now we're doing the Highlander franchise, which is a train wreck of a franchise. So I'm of two minds. I could seriously rate this as I almost give comic book movies their own genre because they follow different rules than typical action movies. They follow different movies that or rules than like a typical comedy. They are kind of in their own set.
hmm
It has become its own kind of genre, I think, over time. especially now with how many there are. So I would give this movie probably a 7 out of 10
Nice. Nice.
because I feel like the purpose of comic book movies are to bring these characters to life and entertain you. I do feel a lot of comic book movies is to push, especially when you're talking specifically X-Men or mutants, which this is about, underrepresented beings.
Mm-hmm.
Does this hit that? No,
No.
not really. Right? So that it loses most of its score for. And then obviously the story is just a complete disaster.
Yeah.
But in case of like bringing comic books off the page, I'd say, for the most part they hit the nail on the head.
Nice. For me, I think I'll give it a 5, just because
I think you mentioned that before.
Did I?
Yeah,
I think No Way Home is probably a little better than this, and I would give that one a 6. If I gave this one a 6, then I can't give No Way Home a 7. So
that's fair. That's fair.
That's why I think this one falls to a 5 for me. Yeah, it was entertaining, and I did watch it twice in the opening weekend, which great for box office.
You're adding to the problem.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, for sure. But I really wanted to go and see if I missed something, and
right.
What I wanted to relate to everybody that was loving it. That's why I went.
Totally.
Especially knowing that it fucks with the multiverse and all the rules. Maybe I would be able to lift that block that I had, but I couldn't. By the way, I will tell you, going in, knowing what was gonna happen, the scene where Deadpool starts telling on Johnny to Cassandra, Johnny's like, "Oh, let's not do this, Deadpool. Please stop." If you know that
there was
he actually said
a
it,
knowledge behind his eyes.
Yeah,
because
when I first watched it, I didn't really notice it. I was just like, "Oh, Deadpool put in words in his mouth." But after I knew Johnny said those things, the way he reacts, it makes a lot more sense. That was really cool.
Super funny. That is super funny.
And I loved the end credits scene. This was a really fun, awesome end credits scene.
For sure, because it also is Deadpool being like, "You want an end credits scene? I'm going to give you my end credits scene that doesn't have anything to do with anything, right?"
Yeah.
Which Marvel has done once in a while, but for the most part, they do just try to set up the next thing, right?
Another time was also with Chris Evans at the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming. It was just Chris Evans in the information video, where it's
exactly, yeah.
You waited for something, but sometimes it doesn't pay off, or something like that. But it was also with Chris Evans, so that was cool.
Yeah. Chris Evans has done some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so chat says when 95% of people that paid to see the movie loved it, it was objectively a good movie for those people. For those people, it was.
I think it's subjectively a good movie for those people, not objective.
Yeah, that's the thing, is everybody has their individual opinion, and you cannot discredit that, no matter what. Will this movie go down in history as being considered a good movie? Probably, because of those high ratings that people are giving it. Will people always be around to debate it? 100%, because not everything's for everybody. There's just no way around it.
I hope in a year I'm not debating this movie.
Well, yeah, obviously not everybody will be debating it by any means, but yeah.
I hope they just go upwards from here. I'm very hopeful from the trailers of the Cap movie, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't know.
I didn't love the so trailer played before the movie for Captain America Back to the Basics or whatever it's called. I don't know. It seemed meh. I don't know. It didn't grip me. I was like, okay. I don't know. Maybe the the story wasn't, or maybe they didn't show enough of what the story's going to
Maybe.
be, or something. Or maybe I still have a bad taste in my mouth from the TV series that was just not great at all. That I just don't. I don't know. It just maybe is just still the MCU burnout that I'm going through. I don't know. It could be
Maybe.
a combination of all those.
See, I really loved the TV show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and
What?
yeah, that's probably like the only good thing that they put on Disney Plus.
What? No. Wait. How have we not discussed this?
Wait, let's end this video, then we can discuss this.
Okay, please.
Yeah.
See, there's always more to come, people. We'll
Thank
be
you.
debating this movie in a year.
Thank you, Cleaning Agent, so much. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Let us know what you think of this. Yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. And let me do like a little heart for Cleaning Agent. If you,
Oh, it's the wrong way. I screwed it up. That's good.